What's going on? Figs here with Team FOE. Just got done with the PPG online event here on July 18th. It was a really fun event. It was a best of one. I decided to take Invoker, so I just wanted to go over the list I went with. Obviously, no side deck, because of course it was best of one. But keep representing that red blue and keep representing that Universe 7. So let's go over it here. So I figured I'd give the deck profile in person since we had to submit it in person anyway, so I have the cards. I decided to mainly go with this deck because, for one, I had all the cards, but for two, it is Invoker. It's very good. We've got that good support here with the 3-drop Goku. They made it very, very good, made it very playable, and I was just excited to really play the deck and really get into it. So let's go over some of the cards. My ratios are a little different, but I don't think that they're too bad. I think they're actually pretty good, so we'll take a look here. So of course the leader, anyone doesn't know what he does, he is a Sun Goku leader. Front side, you pitch an extra card, any extra card, doesn't have to be multicolor, any extra card. You can decide to take a life, up to 1 life, or not to, but either way you gain 5k for that battle, and you also get to draw a card. So I spent most of the tournament cycling out cards. I played against 2 VJets, a green Brawly, the green Brawly BR, red-green Brawly Surge, like I said, 2 VJets, and a Gogeta, a yellow Gogeta. So I played against some pretty decent aggro type matchups. I spent a lot of my turns pitching extra cards, so it was very important to utilize the front side of that skill. I took a lot of unnecessary damage by gaining the 5k and using Bean, or gaining the 5k and being able to just out a normal leader swing or a normal battle card swing. So front side of this leader is very strong. It doesn't seem that good, but in reality, when you're going against an aggro deck and they're just 10Ks, or if you have a Bean, you're able to sustain pretty well. Backside, he has 2 effects. They're both Activate Main or Activate Battle, but it is once per turn. So you put a red-blue card underneath, 2 of them, 1 red, 1 blue, or both multicolor. You get to either grab 3 different extra cards with different names from your drop or warp. So you can get 3 different cards from your drop and or warp that'll be able to help you defend. Then his other skill, if you have Universe 7 battle card on the board, you get to draw a card, take a card out of your opponent's hand, and make them discard it. Has to be 3,500 or less, or an extra card. So that side's really good. It's really good when you're trying to set up and finish and close out the game, especially when you're playing like the SCR, or you're playing the 6-drop Goku, and you're trying to win at that moment. It allows you to look at their hand to kind of get rid of those cards that might be annoying or unnecessary. So leader, really good. SCR, Apex, best SCR in the game in my opinion. I think it's better than the original Victory Strike. Paying 5 negating all skills except extra cards is really, really good. Especially considering the only condition is that you have to have 5 extra cards in the drop, which is super easy. I won, I believe, 2 games with this today. My only win cons were literally just to burn my opponent or kill them with Apex, and that resolved 100% of the time I needed it to. The options were there. I usually went with one option or the other depending on the matchup, but it was definitely very good. Apex, too good, honestly, in my opinion. Very good SCR, and like I said, one of my favorite SCRs. I went with the 4 Vegeta Invoker, of course. He has the Invoker skill, allows us to play all of our red-blue multicolor extra cards for 1 energy. Very important. Best Invoker in the deck, of course, because he comes out for 3, and he just does his job. He sits on the board and allows you to defend well. I went with 3 Roshi. Wanted to make sure I had enough blue for when I charge my turn 1 field card. I think there was only 1 game I actually didn't get it off turn 1. Most of the time you mulligan, you look for it, you get 1 blue, you get 1 of the field card. If you don't, then you charge a multicolor turn 1 and you just play the field card turn 2, and you work around it. But otherwise, Roshi, 3 of them. He's a good negate. He's also a Universe 7 to use the backside of your leader during aggro matchups. So in the event you don't get to turn 3, but you really want the draw, and you really want to be able to look at your opponent's hand, Roshi allows you to do that as he sets up the board for you. The 3 D-Magics. D-Magic is very good, of course. It's D-Magic. There's not much explanation behind it. If I could play more, I'd play more. Cards insane in this deck. Being able to open up multicolor energy is really good. And of course, Sparking Negate is really good. 4 Catastrophic Blow. This is the only one that I actually kept at 4 with all my multicolors, and that's because it's really just the important win con. Essentially, depending on your game state and depending on your hand, the most amount of damage you can do with Catastrophic Blow, I believe, is around 7 points of damage with the 6-drop Goku and the 3-drop Goku. It's doable. I mean, I won, I think, 3 games today. Yeah, 3 games today with Catastrophic Blow. It does what it's supposed to. It burns your opponent. Once you get a red-blue Goku on the board, has to be a red-blue Goku, can't be any other Goku, and of course you have to have Invoker to play it for 1. So I kept it at 4. I felt like it was very important, so we kept it as what I needed it to be. 3, Emperor's Death Beam, very good card. Of course, kept it at 3 just like all the other ones. Neg something by 30k, a battle card by 30k. Unfortunately, it doesn't touch Unison or Leader, so that's very important to note, because Unisons can be a little bit tough for this deck to deal with, but there are ways that we kind of facilitate a small board in order to kind of keep Unisons at low markers so that we're not able to get out advantage through them. So I went with a 3 Sleepy Boy, very good card. I wanted to have access to a draw negate as well as a draw during my turn for any hand control matchups, so I wasn't missing anything and having to wait for my opponent to attack to draw. So I went with 3. 3 Senzu Bean. I went with 3 Senzu Bean instead of 4 because aggro is not as strong right now. It is strong, but it's not as it was with, of course, the U3 ban, so I felt like 4 wasn't necessary, but 3 was just enough so that I seen it early on for the charge, for any blue charges that I needed for the field card. Plus, of course, it kept me well fed in order to deal with aggro, so that was very good. 4 beer super combo. Splits no longer needed. We have so many multicolor cards right now that keeping energy open is super important. So I decided to just go with the 4 beer super combo. It was safe. It was strong. It allows you to open up energy early on in the event you don't get your field card. So it worked out the way that it needed to. 3 Royal Condemnation, very good card. Royal Condemnation allowed me to be able to stop anything that came into play. I honestly don't think I've played it even once during the event. There wasn't really a lot of times where my opponent played something I absolutely needed to stop. Most of the time, negating the attack is enough. You don't really care if they're on the board, because you're either going to board wipe them or you're just going to play around it and just not even attack and just Catastrophic Blow or go in with Goku. So most of the time your opponent's board's somewhat irrelevant. But Emperor's Death Beam, Royal Condemnation, and we're in this together, kind of solidify the board for you a little bit, as well as Sleepy Boy. 3 Tyranny's Cost allows you to be able to draw more. I wanted to have that split like I said earlier, so that way I could draw cards and not have to worry about not having a big enough hand against hand control. So I made sure that I played this. Worked really well against the green Brawly BR matchup because I'm able to just negate, get rid of their dudes when I can, if they're small enough, and then of course draw cards as I need to. So Emperor's Death Beam gets rid of their chain. Tyranny's Cost lets me draw cards during my turn to see the topos, so that way I can topo and keep up energy for negates. So this is very good. 3 of the Goku, one of the best cards printed in my opinion in set 10. Card's insane. Allows you to recycle all of your extra cards that are warped. You get 2, doesn't matter the name, and then you get to play a big Goku on top. Always did its job. I don't think I've ever played this once during the event where I got stopped and wasn't able to go into the 6-drop and kill my opponent that turn. I tend to try to avoid playing it early against certain matchups because green and red have more answers to it on the play since it doesn't have deflect. So a lot of times I kept up 1 energy when I played this along with the Royal Condemnation. Even when I went into the 6-drop, I kept 1 energy open for Royal Condemnation in case they have the Frieza for the 6-drop because he does not have barrier. So it's best to kind of play a little defensively in that sense. That way your plays aren't being interrupted. But very good card. Even a 10k combo, he came in clutch. Actually against my Brawly Surge matchup, I was looking for a 10k combo card. Hit one off my life and it allowed me to defend for games. So it was very important that this was a 10k. Very strong. 3 Topo. Card, honestly, I originally had it at 2. I'm super glad I put it at 3. I seen it almost every time I needed it. It was very strong against the Vegex Boo matchup. Very strong against the Brawly matchup. I mean, every matchup, honestly, it was just a very solid card. Stopped my opponents from out pressuring me. Allowed me to be able to defend and keep away all the damage. So Topo, definitely a 3 of. I honestly couldn't imagine playing less than 3. It did its job every time I seen it. We've got 2 we're in this together. This is the board wipe. Didn't need to see it that often, just enough so like if my opponent had stuff on the board that were able to just do a little bit more than the cards intended for. So like if something sat on the board and was double strike and I didn't want to have to keep having to negate the double strike, this dealt with the double strikers. Any 1-drops that have effects that are multiple that can last over multiple turns or give them value later on. I made sure that I kept this around at least at 2, so that way I didn't have to waste this, negging something that's 1K. For that, I can wipe the entire board, deal with everything, and then just not have to worry about it at all. So also a very good card to loop against hand control, because you can pay 1 energy and add it back to your hand, 1 red energy. So that was very nice as well. 4 of the field card, Tournament of Power. I did play the field card with no Wii search. One of my teammates, Justin Rios, we talked about it a little bit, and the Wii is just, it's unnecessary. Honestly, it feels bad drawing the Wii later on in the game, it just being a 5K combo. Most of the time you don't want to charge blue a little too late, because you need colors, of course, for your free plays, and also, Invoker or the SCR requires 2, he requires 1, he requires 1, so you want to be able to not charge just too much blue. That way you can focus your energy and make sure you sequence your energy properly. So 4 was perfect. There's only one game I think I didn't see it, or turn 1 or in my opening, so it wasn't too bad. But card's really good. Let you look at the top 3, rearrange, banish your your extra cards from the drop, reveal them, and then add them to your hand. So this was a really great setup. The 6-drop Goku, didn't go with the other one, went with this one. Catastrophic Blow plus him equals game just about in every sense of the play. There is no out for it, unfortunately. It's very uninteractable, but not him coming into play, but just the combo between Catastrophic Blow and the 6-drop is very uninteractable. So it was very nice. He definitely did his job and was very good. So this is the list that I went with. It was best of 1, so there was no side deck. I decided to not play Beerus Whis. I wanted to because I thought maybe people would be main decking stuff for Invoker, but I kind of was just like, well, if they're going to do that, then they're going to also waste space in their main board to counter my cards, which of course should force them to take up turns, wasting energy to out my Vegeta. So I figured I didn't want to waste space as well, doing the same thing just to counteract them. So I figured I would just play without it. There was a couple games where actually I didn't even see the Invoker until turn 4, and I survived fine. I just had to obviously sequence a little bit differently and play it smart. But this is the deck. It was very good, very fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Shout out to Team FOE. Shout out to all the players on the team. Justin Rios, Eddie St. Hilaire, of course, best sponsor. Best sponsor all around. Marquise McKinney, the Hill Twins, everybody, John, Andrew. Definitely appreciate all the time that we put into play testing and getting through. But this was the list, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the profile here. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and it's Team FOE checking out.